Good sunny morning. It is the next morning. Did we get this end bay in? No, we didn't. So that's our first job. Right. No, that's not our first job. We might have had a delivery in the middle of the night. Now I say we might have had a delivery in the middle of the night because for whatever reason, they were loading up all the stuff from the renovation of the bridge. And I took Casper out about 10:30 last night. Did I see anything? Not really, but I was aware that he'd delivered me some more pallets and ply and everything else. And a few days ago, I asked him to ask the man if I could have the trees cut down when they cut the new road in for the renovation. He said he didn't know when he would ask anyway. The man's obviously said yes, because I've come out to carry on this morning. And now, I shouldn't complain, right? This is free wood delivered to my yard, so we're not complaining. However, I did only ask for the birch. Is that in my way? Yeah, have I got to move all of that before we can... Yes, right. Well, that'll be our first job then. So, and it is a gift sent, and those of you who are regular subscribers, you know I haven't collected any wood since the snow went. I've got plenty of wood, but we got nothing to start filling up all the empty stillages. Right. Oh, am I doing in there? Quick view. Right, this is completely irrelevant to everything. This is why my videos end up so long, because I get so distracted, because I'm filling these up and getting them downstairs. What did we learn? Right, well, I've removed 2 rows from in there. Look at that. 2 rows. We're going to have to do this. It's that's in here 6. You get 9 cubic meters in 2 rows, which means I always thought that I could get 55 cubic meters in the shed, and I get a lot more. There's 9 cubic meters gone out of there, and I've started taking down on the top, and then they have to be loaded into this. And then anyway, irrelevant. What's 9 cubic meters? Well, a meter's 3 foot something by 3 foot something by 3 foot something. 12 cubic feet, 15 cubic feet. I don't know. Anyway. So, we need to get that out of the yard, over there somewhere. And then we can finish this. Right. So, Paul, the bearded carpenter. What a talented man. What an absolute talented man. Getting around there. He says, I'm light on my feet because I've got so many projects on the go. Oh, I can't even tell you. I don't bother telling you how many things I've got on the go all at the same time. Are any of them making money? Arguably, there's money in the wood. Right, this will cost me money if it didn't come in for free. That, right, that's leading to making money. It takes a long time to get a business up and running and profitable, even in a civilised world. I've done it quite fast. This one... Anyway, I'm light on my feet. This is why. So we've gone from construction of a building that is to house wood to stop it from getting wet and damaged to moving logs. Do you know, if I had a log grip, anyway, we do it on the forks. Right, let's go. Like 2 videos of the same thing. The last thing you'd have seen is a video of me clearing this area. Right, well that's taken an hour, and we're right back where we were 12 hours ago. And it's taken an hour, right? Not just because it took an hour to clear those, because everybody's like, you can't see behind the camera. How's it taken an hour to move that? Well, let me show you. Tell you what, breaking my arse and putting a set of new tyres on this, best thing I ever did. Right, so in the time we've been clearing that, I mean, is this just the most ridiculous thing? Anyway, in the time we've been clearing that, sheet material, loads of it down there. I've already pre-sorted that. All this is coming. Right, this. Look at that ply. I wanted some of that. That's inch ply. Sterling board. Look at this. All pressure treated. All these pallets. All these pallets. This. This. I don't know what's in this bag. Wood. Look at that. And that's obviously what we've just moved. And all this has come in just while I've been moving that. So, I ask for everything because you never know what you're going to need. I do need wood. Because what's a wood yard without wood? In addition to that, the shit's about to hit the fan. I'll keep asking for everything and take what I can. Now, I also got this. This is also ply. I don't think the little bits are much good, but you can see it's a mixed pallet with big sheets in there. Sheet material, I'm always after sheet material. Tell you what sheet material's good. See, as you in the US will know, how you make houses is you make a box frame and then the strength is in the sheet material, both on the inside and the outside. So you use sheet material inside, you use sheet material on the outside, then you stucco it or whatever you do on the outside to make it waterproof. That don't work very well, by the way, but anyway. Well, here, I don't have sheet material. I do, right? If you want to go and spend every single penny you earn and your neighbours, in fact, the whole villages, they don't earn nothing, they're all retired. Well, a few of them do. Anyway, so this is your cross brace, right, and then I board. But in addition to all that, I need wind to go through here, right? So you couldn't use sheet material anyway. Am I rabbiting? Yeah, so much information goes around in my head that I just like to pass it out. Do you know what's slightly disappointing? And that's because my channel's just so boring. Is that most of the people watch my channel, right? I'm not sure they really need the information I'm giving out. The young ones that do need the information I'm giving out aren't listening. Anyway, there you go. Did I listen when I was young? No, I was busy doing. Learnt through my mistakes. Learnt through other people's mistakes. When somebody messed up, I was like, well, what did you do there then? Oh, don't rub salt in the wounds. No. Share the information. You know, stop with the personal attachments. Then that's where I think all this woke stuff comes from. People, oh, you hurt my feelings. That's personal to you, that is. Ain't down to me. No, that's personal to you. Keep your personal feelings to yourself and move along. That's where I am with that. Yeah. And they turn around and say, oh, but what you've just said is offensive. No, it isn't. You've taken offence to what I've just said. Right, that makes it your problem. Move along. Okay. Now I need to sort out some more of these nasty old sleepers here and then get that last section up there and this. When I say last, you can see it's not going to house everything I need it to. It's just not. And the beauty of this is I could just keep adding onto it. I can just keep going. Well, you can only go so far because it gets tight down here. But, well, not tighter than it is. Anyway, I knew that wasn't going to be big enough, but we'll get this up first. And one of the biggest problems I've got is roofing. Because if I don't go and buy tin, well, that's not happening, then I'm going to have no roof. Right, let's get coffee. I couldn't work out what Casper was barking at. There's an eagle climbing the thermals. Look at the size of that. That is huge. I hope this camera does it justice. See how it almost disappears till it turns. Look at that, going up and up and up. I'm sure you remember, because it was only a few moments for you watching this video, but this morning I said we'll have the uprights and then the beams and then maybe even the rafters on today. Well, no. Now I know it don't look like much has gone on, but it has. It's level and it's square and it's straight and it's got all the overhangs coming out ready for the uprights. But more importantly, you'll notice cants, right? Every single one of those has been sorted into size and cut to length. Now I said cut to length, so I haven't been cutting down 7 metre cants just to fit them into a 5.5 metre opening. Some of them have only needed 6-10 inches off the end. I can live with that. Anyway, what have I done? Well, I've sorted out what I want to use for my beams, and I've got those separated and they're over here. We've got to run all of those on the sawmill just to square them up, just to make them nice. So we've got the 4 beams, and I've worked out how to finish the ends so that if I want to extend, and I've got an idea, ideas. Right, and my posts. I've got 3 down there and 1 on the sawmill ready to go. So all of these 4 have got to be squared up, and they're my uprights. And then those 4 over there, wherever they are, over there, they're my front beams. And only once they're all in and they're interlocked and they're all bolted together can we think about rafters. Okay. So this building behind me, this was a really temporary building. I've got planning permission for a huge building there. Same size as that, I have. When I thought about that, I thought it would be like any other country where an entrepreneur can get on and year on year, you know, after the losses and they break even and they make profit. Well, I got that one wrong. So the concrete alone, to have the concrete here, put a concrete base in there, will cost me more than I'm likely to earn in the next 10 years. Can I build it myself? Right, like that. Sawmill building. It's actually 1.5 stories high. It's the same width as the school, but it's only 1.5 stories high, and there's a reason for that. Anyway, no, realistically I can't see that happening. So this temporary thing here that worries me, it's so temporary I have to scrape the snow off. Well, this one here, of course, I've made it so I don't have to scrape the snow off. I don't have to get up on the roof, minus 30 degrees. Anyhow, I can put a 7 metre bay on this end, right, and move the sawmill. I mean 6 metres for the sawmill. Well, I can put a 7 metre bay on the end, have the sawmill there. Right, that works a bit better. And then, if I want, whilst I can't go down too far, I can put another bay in down here. Right. Anyway, the point about it is when I do these beams, they're going to have a half jointing cut over the top of the post. I'm going to do it on the ends, and that way I can just carry on and not get there and think, oh, have I got to join this? You know, made a mistake, or trying to chainsaw up there with bolts in it and hope I don't nick my chain. Oh, you rabbit and Simon. Yep, right. So, I've got these left to sort through, and I've just left them there for a minute because I know from experience, if you put everything away, especially when you're halfway through a job or you think you finished the job and you put all your tools away, you know, and the job ain't quite, and you have to go back and, well, if I put all those away and I need some more, I've got to get them out again. So I'm just going to leave them there for a minute. So I started putting the cants in how I want them. I've got a maximum length, feet, why don't I do this in feet? Well, I'm 18 feet, 9.5 inches. on each opening. That's what I am. 18 feet, 9.5 inches. So I cannot have cants any longer than 18'6". All right, otherwise they're not going to go in. Why 18'6"? Well, because these are having a wider post on these, and you wouldn't want to put them in exactly to length and realise you couldn't get them out again, because that would be, you know. Anyway, now I haven't gone all the way to the top, and there's a reason I haven't gone all the way to the top. You'll see the distance between the forks, right, and the top of the forks, the bottom of the forks and top of the forks. So you can only go to the top if you can go all the way to the back and lift the pack out. Right? I'm not quite sure where I am with the front of the tractor and height, and I couldn't be bothered to stop and start measuring it, so I've just put them like that for a minute, and I can top it up when I've got the rafters on. Right. I don't know what time it is, but I don't know, 5 or 6. Yeah, so maybe tomorrow. You know where it is. Have I got to go fishing today? Yeah, look at the weather. Look, there's no wind. Right, no wind. No wind. It's going to be beautiful on the river. I wish I could take you, but I've got nothing to hold my camera with. Have I placed an order for me? No, I haven't. Right. And Scott said to me a month ago, oh, I'll send you a replacement. I said, no, don't bother, don't bother. I'm going to place an Amazon order, you know. I haven't. Sorry, mate. You could have sent me 10 by now, and I'd have got all of them. Anyway, cup of coffee, I think. Do you know what's weird is he's been ragging around for 2 days now, right? He never, ever does this. And I've been trying to get him to do this all his life, right? I told you about him coming into his maturity. Let me show you what he's doing. He's there. He never lies down quietly like that. He just bothers me all day. But he's been ragging around so much. He's actually quiet. Don't look down there, son. Right. Oh, I've had the chainsaw out. Missed all that. Right. I know there's going to be a lot of wind noise. Where the trees going? Is it cold? Yeah, it's really cold. We're doing a bit of trawling on the way to the cages. See if we can catch a bit of dirty pike for the old dog there. But yeah, it's cold. It's so today, 1st of September. Yeah, there you go. Trees are going. Cages are over there. There's an eagle's nest over here somewhere. That's that eagle we saw this morning. Anyway, there we go. Nothing on there yet. So how did I do? Well, not so good in terms of numbers. Cages were empty. My pole did most of the catching, so we didn't get too many. 5, I think. However, we might have made up for it in another way, and I'll show you why. Whew. These here, these are your average sized perch. Right, that one's about to take a tumble. Look at that. That's average. Right, that's the one I've got there. So, let's pick them back up. So on that basis, right, if that's a normal sized perch there. I'll tell you what I'm sick of. I'm sick of having to hold this damn thing because a piece of equipment got broken. Right, now, last time I caught something that I just didn't think too much of. I missed out on the official Swedish record for the largest pike caught in Sweden. Now that's fact. That's length plus weight. How close was I to the world record? Well, we'll never know, because I guessed its weight and I measured it roughly, right? But I was close. And the reason I missed that is because I'm not a freshwater fisherman. I lived by the sea all my life, within metres of the sea for some periods of my life. So I'm a sea fisherman. Everything in the sea is big. Big mistake. I was definitely close to the world record in pike and way over the Swedish record. So what I'm going to do is I've got a silly little thing now. I'm going to weigh this and measure it, just because I'm not sure I've seen a perch that big before. So, measuring it. Measuring it. There we go. 17.5 inches, or 45 centimetres, or 450 millimetres. That's quite big for a perch, that is. Right, let's weigh it. How are we going to weigh it? Come here, big fella. Right, let's see if we can't hook this in there somewhere. Wow, that's 3 pounds 2 ounces, 1.5 kilos. Maybe not that big then. Anyway, that's not a bad size. Not for a perch. Yeah. That's not a bad size for a perch at all, that. Yeah, I'm sure it's not that big in the world of perch, but anyway, it's got to be one of the biggest I've pulled in. Right, now I have had enough. Now it's getting dark, it's really bloody cold, and I'm going for something to eat. Those are the cuts. 2, 3, 4. That's the 4 beams. This one's a little shy, didn't need cutting, but I've got an idea for that. And there's the 4 posts. So then what we need to do is calculate the distance between the underside of the rafter. Right, now that's cheating because that one's got sticking out. If you had those down there. Anyway, you need to calculate the distance from the other side of the rafter minus the width of the beams, and the distance from there to the foot will give us the length of the post. I'm going to cut these 4 and get them up. Alright, they're all marked up like that. Whilst I was cutting one of the posts, I knew it had to be a little longer because of, anyway, I'm assuming this end post, some of you spotted a deliberate mistake. Just goes to show you, momentary lapse of concentration. Anyway, that end post, that goes all the way to the top. It's not supposed to. It's supposed to look like this post here. It's supposed to be 200mm down. Right, what's 200mm? I don't know. Whatever I've cut these to, 10 by 10s. That's a bit of a faux pas. Issue collected. Issue collected, corrected. Definitely recording this time, isn't it? Yeah. Right, I've been at this a couple of hours now. So what I've done, so that we're clear, I've put a fascia, the offcuts of the cants, I've bolted across from here, all the way through here. Right, which way am I even going? Anyway, where you can see the end there. Now they're bolted all the way through, and what that's done is that's tied all the beams together. Right, and tied the two end ones together, but it's tied the middle ones together and all the beams. And the reason I've done that is because not only will it strengthen it while I'm doing it, is the weather's changeable. We have some big windstorms here. In addition to that, I'm not quite sure when the first snow's going to land. Now it should be 6 weeks ago, 6 weeks time, it should be. But what that'll do is that'll tie the building together whilst I'm putting the rafters up, and whilst I'm putting the plastic on, and whilst I'm getting the roof on. Just ties it all together. Am I going to take it off? Probably not. I'll probably leave that there and put a fascia straight over the front of it. Now I've put in the two end rafters there, and here. Move your finger closer to the camera, Simon. There, that one. The middle two, that one and that one, are just loose. But what I've done is I've put a very tight string line from the uppermost corner of that one, and I've put that all the way along to that one, the end one, there. Now I'm going to put these two in and fix them off. And what that'll do is that'll give me my straight edge on the front there. And then I'll put in the middle one of each bay, and then I'll just fill the rest in. Alright, that's the first section done. And I've lifted up all the other rafters onto the roof. So now I've just got to go down and repeat that all the way down. So I've blocked in between. Now the problem is, right, whether you call them upstands, fillets, blocks, blocking, there's a million terms for them. What I'm aware of is I have subscribers in 16 countries, all of which will call them something else. So I'm just going to show you, and you can, I don't care what they're called. You can work it out. But what that's going to do is that's going to stop the roof from twisting and hold it down. And the other thing to bear in mind is the prevailing direction is, wind direction is north. So it's going to want to get underneath the building and lift it up. So once we've got the top bits off, then I'm going to put a strap across it and hold the front down to the beams. That's the last bay done, finished. All the rafters on. Took a bit longer than I was expecting, but also I got a sick dog. Not quite sure what's the matter with him, but where he's been lying in the long grass last 2 afternoons, he's been bitten all over his belly and under his chin. And then this morning he managed to make it out of the living accommodation, but there was he'd thrown up down the stairs and into the workshop, and so I cleaned all that up, took him out, went back in, and he just lied on my feet, which is unusual. And then I looked at him and all his eyes were swollen up. So it's bugs and fever, or I don't know what it is. Anyway, I took him into my Sarah this morning and she's given him a bath and cleaned him up and his eyes are going down. Anyway, he's still not right. He's sleeping in the car, which is where his safe zone is. So let's talk about this. So I'll put the noggins in, or eaves closures, or whatever you want to call them. Now I noticed, I don't think I'd ever seen it anywhere before I came here. There's an awful lot of buildings where they don't close the eaves. I don't know if that's ignorance or what that is, but anyway, close your eaves. Close your eaves while you're building. Right, it's really easy. You know what your rafter centres are and therefore what your blocks in between are going to be, and it's a lot easier to do it while you're going along. And everything's going to be tight also, right, because you're putting in a rafter and then you're putting in your eaves closure and then you're putting in a rafter, so everything's tight as you're going and everything's square. What that also does is really important for snow loading, is you can still get deflection in the beam. Now I've put a beam up, right, which will carry 4 meters of snow up there. However, if that beam decides to deflect, the weight with the rafters is going to, if you've got blocks and everything's tight in between, stops that deflection. It gives it a whole nother layer. So it's good practice to close your eaves while you're building. It makes no sense to do them afterwards. You're up there and you're going along. So eaves are closed at the front and at the back, and this is just going to strengthen everything. We've gone from a beam at the back there, which is 150 mil. I'm doing it in millimetres again, aren't I? Right, 6 inch, and then we got 6 inch. So now we're at a foot. So our back beam, because we're tight all the way along, that's a foot. Right, I don't need any more than that, and that's just the way it is. Right. So now we're ready to put the vapour barrier on, and I'm not using the vapour barrier in a traditional sense because I don't need one. What I need is the tin roof here, where we go hot to cold. It condensates, and you've got to have plastic underneath or a vapour barrier to run all your condensation out. Otherwise, you're just going to get drips inside, and you'll rot your inside timber. Plastic is not something we're short of. So the next thing we're going to do is put plastic on, and then we're going to put all our roofing timbers across, which is going to hold the plastic in place and be ready for our roofing. It's only a simple structure, and I'm knocking it together as fast as I can with what I've got, specifically for the snow loading. I would have built something completely different. I built that over there. I don't know how that's still standing, but I have to scrape the snow off that, and I also have to put a post in here where the sawmill is, because anyway, this, I don't have to clear the snow loading off of this, and it'll keep everything dry. Right, plastic. Now I've said that, the wind's getting up. As soon as I said plastic, right, plastic. Just before we put plastic on, I want to point something out. Everybody's taught different ways. So how I was taught was you'd put the rafters on, and then you'd string a line through, and you would use an angle finder with the right angle, and you would go down each rafter and you would draw your line, and then you would go along afterwards with a cable and a circular saw, and you would cut all your cuts up. It's dangerous. It's time consuming. Ladders, cables, saws. See how nice and straight my line is? I don't have to do any of that. I don't understand. If you know what your building is, you can measure it, put your angles on there. I'm 11 degrees. Put your angles on here, cut them. Beautiful, easy, done, finished. Plastic. Right, lovely straight line. Same on the back. And that sky. Lovely. Lovely. Right, now we are going to do plastic. How am I doing? There's no point in filming this. You don't want to watch the struggle up and down, up and down. I've got to go and get a bigger ladder. I can't keep getting up and down that step ladder, and it's giving my back some grief. It really is. Anyway, I've got a board along the front and board along the back, and now I can start boarding. I'm going to go 500 centres. Normally you would use much smaller. I'll show you over there. But anyway, I'm going to use big stuff, like I say, because of the snow loading, and I've got it here, so I might as well use it. But yeah, we'll carry on. That's another day gone. It's almost 1800 hours on a Saturday. How far did I get? Well, not as far as I was expecting, as always. Anyway, we got one bay done. Well, we haven't. We've got the plastic on. And we're ready for tin. I mean, all the rafters are on. It's not all bad. Yeah, so the first bay, that is ready for tin. So we will get the other two bays finished tomorrow, albeit, you know, a bad storm. We'll get the plastic on and the timbers on, and we should be good. And I've overlapped the plastic by 2.5 feet. I figured it was better to cut it and run it this way than try and pull out two enormous sheets. I just couldn't do it. My back says I can't do it. My back says you've had enough. Right, here's a poorly boiler. What are you doing? Here it is. He's been asleep in there this afternoon, this morning. He was with his mum, getting a bath and stuff. Look at his lovely colours coming out. Right, he's starting to turn like the Arctic air. He'll be going white soon. Right, that's it for today. I must need my air testing. Well, I bet that didn't work very well, did it? Can we focus? Why is it not focusing? Oh, it's focusing now. Right. Look at that elevation. How cool is that? How bad is that? Anyway, we ain't done that bit yet. And we're doing this anyway. Right. What is the time? I don't know. 13:30 on a Sunday. I got this first row in last night, yeah, rolled everything on. And so far this morning, I've got them two all the way down there and this one on there. And then I've just denailed all this. Why is it taking so long? Well, the whole point of building this is because I had to move that lot before the snow comes. And over there, of course, this is all the stuff I've already denailed and stacked. So I thought to myself, sometimes it's better to bounce these ideas off somebody. I thought to myself, if I've got to move it, whilst I'm moving it, I might as well build this. Right. Anyway, I chose to take that lot instead of the lot that I've denailed because that lot needs denailing. So every single piece of wood that I'm working with has to be denailed first. And the bad ends cut off and the rot taken out. And anyway, here we go. Here's my pile of offcuts so far. That's all the waste I've got from the entire building, and not all of that's waste because I can use some of the blocks in the next lot of framing. I'm going to have to put you down whilst I look at the precarious setup I've got here. Anyway, see what I can do there. Well, that's taken any wobble that was left in the roof out of the roof. It's also taken the side wind out of the building. So every board is double screwed into every single rafter. Screwed, not nailed. Snow loading calculations said no nails because I'm using half-life. It's actually a little better than half-life, but anyway, so we're double screwed all the way through, and now we're ready to put a tin on top. So yeah, this will never bow, will never sag, and I'll never need to be up here and scraping it off. Even at 4 metres, I'm so over-calculated that I don't have to be concerned. This building over here, this stresses me every winter, this does. And then I have to get, where you've seen the videos, I have to get up and clear it. This one, I ain't gonna touch. So I double stacked at the far end. I'll take it down there and show you and explain why. I've got the extra 2 bits I've put in there, and that one veers up slightly. And that's because I want to cover at least 2 of the rafters on the next section. And since we don't know exactly when we're going to build the next section, and it could be October as the snow's coming, assuming it doesn't come before then. So I've got such an overhang, I'm going to connect on 2, 3 and even 4 of the rafters of the next section, and that'll make sure I've got good continuity between the 2 buildings. Look at all that down there. That's all denailed, ready to go undercover. Anyway, what a mess I've got. Probably trying to put some of this underneath. Have I got the roofing for this building? No. So I've just, let me just stagger about a bit. I've just put the first money, as it were, into the building by having to use screws. Now all the nails I've used thus far, they've all been free from death estates. It's quite common here, obviously, because everybody's old, but I get gifted quite a lot of stuff. And from the garages and sheds, very often people bring me from the death estate. So it goes to good use, but I have used 1/3 of a box of screws. And now I need to consider tin, because I've got some, but I ain't got enough. And I'm not ready to take the tin off that building yet. So, and I have to put some thought into that one. Anyway, the wind won't blow the plastic off, and the rain will just run off now. So I think we've got a couple of weeks grace before snowfall, because if the snow comes on this, well, anyway, there we go. We won't even think about that. That's it. I'm done here. Time to get off and have coffee. It's 1600 on Sunday. So I'll put my tools away. Throughout this entire build, right, this is what I got by way of waste, and some of this is not waste. I can use the smaller blocks again, and then when it's finally waste, in the furnace. Right, okay, so that just leaves me with the tin. I've got to do fascia on the front, fascia on the back, put the tin on the top. See how far we get. Most important thing is it's now weatherproof. So yeah, tin. Not quite sure what we're going to do, but the reason I keep mentioning this is I've got offcuts. My Sarah's just gone and had a look at the price of tin. I'm going to do it in crowns, because that's where I am. So when we did this small building over here, sheets were 148 crowns each. I'm going to guess it's about $10 a sheet. That's my guess. Anyway, it's now 750 crowns a sheet. So let's just have a guess, call that $75 a sheet. Well, that's not going to happen. Ain't happening. Anyway, I'm going fishing now. So you're probably going to get an upload Sunday night. That's tonight, maybe. Yeah, but it won't be a complete, obviously, we're not there. Anyway, thank you all for watching me. It's been a blast. And I'm going to get the metal detector out now, do a bit more of the old, bing bong, make sure I'm not going to drive over any nails and puncture my new tyres, because that would be a travesty of saying new. They've been on there 2 years now. Might have been 3 years. Because these big ones here, second winter or third winter. Anyway, I kept having them fixed punches in those, and then bought new tyres, but I couldn't afford to have them fitted. I fitted those myself. Right. Whilst the wheel was still on the tractor, with a 2-foot jemmy crowbar. Don't ask me how, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, that's it. Thank you all for joining me. If you like the content, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you're not, because that really helps me out. And we'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.